Hello and welcome everyone. This model one of our C programming series and it's designed especially for beginners just starting their coding journey. So in this session we are going to explore the basics not by diving straight into the coding but by understanding the story behind C and why it's still important even in 2025. So in this session we will cover what is C programming all about. Why should we why should you invest time learning C when there are newer languages like Python and Java? How C is actually still behind many systems you use every day, from your mobile phone to your washing machine. And finally, how C compares with other languages in terms of speed, usage, and simplicity. So, whether you are a student, a beginner, or someone curious about programming, this is a perfect place to start. Let's begin your journey into the world of C programming. Let's start with the most basic question. Why should you learn C programming in today's world? Filled with Python, JavaScript, and other modern languages? Well, there are some very strong reasons. First, C is the foundation of many popular languages. Languages like C++, Java, even Python are either based on C or share many its core principles. So, if you understand C, you'll find it much easier to transition into other languages. Second, C teaches you how to computer really works. You get hands-on experience with things like pointers, memory address, and memory management. Concepts that are hidden in high languages but are crucial for becoming a great programmer. The third, speed and efficiency. C is a compiled language that directly interacts with the hardware, which makes it super fast. That's why it is used in a performance critical system like gaming engines, operating systems, and embedded devices. The fourth, real world application. You will find C behind the scenes in IoT devices, automotive softwares, and mobile systems, and many more. Even part of modern operating systems like Windows, Linux, and Mac OS are written in C. And finally, if you are a student preparing for placement or interview, C helps you build strong problem solving and logical thinking skills. In fact, many coding interviews start with C based questions to test your understanding of loops, arrays, pointers, and data structures. So, yes, learning C is absolutely worth your time, not just to write programs, but to build the foundation of your programming career. Now that you know why C is important, let's take a quick look at where it all began. C was founded in 1972 by a computer scientist named Dennis Ritchie at Bell's Lab, a place famous for tech innovations. At the time, programmers were using older languages like BCPL, but they had limitations. So, Dennis Ritchie built a C as a better version, more powerful, more flexible, and more suited for writing software system. One of a C biggest achievement. It was used to create the Linux operating system, which is influenced almost every modern OS, including Linux, Android, and even part of Windows and Mac OS. As more and more developers started using C, there was a need to make it consistent across different systems. So in 1989, it was officially standardized as a ASCII C, meaning The same C code could run on multiple machines with a little to no changes. This standardization made C even more popular, and it laid the foundation for many future programming languages and systems. So, in short, C didn't just a trend, it built the platform that many modern technologies still stand on today. You might be wondering, right? C is still used in the real world? Absolutely. In some of the most important technologies we rely on every day. Let's start with an operating system. C is the backbone of systems like Linux, part of Windows, and even Mac OS internals. The low-level control C offers makes it perfect for building OS components that need speed and efficiency. Next, embedded system. From your washing machine and microwave oven to a smart watches, fitness bands, and even traffic lights, C is used to program tiny devices that interact with the physical world. The systems need to be small, fast, and reliable, and that's where C shines. Then we have game development. Popular game engines like Unity and Unreal Engine have performed heavy components written in C or C++. Games need high-speed graphic and real-time interactions, which is exactly what C provides. C is also language used to create other programming tools. Yes, even Python interpreter, CPython, and GCC compiler are written in C. So when you write a Python code and it runs, there's like C works working under the hood. And finally, devices, drivers, and communication protocols. When you connect a Bluetooth headset, use a USB drive, or connect to a Wi-Fi, the code that makes that possible often involves C. It helps control hardware, manage input or output, and handle complex network tasks. So, no matter what field you step into, whether it's electronics, gaming, networking, or software, C is everywhere, silently powering the systems that run our world. So, how does C compare with newer languages like Python and Java? Let's break it down in simple terms. C is a low level language, which means it gives you more control over memory and hardware. That's why it's powerful, but also a bit tricky to write. Python and Java are both high level languages, meaning they are easier for human to read and write. They handle a lot of background process for you, which makes development faster, but you lose some control. Next, speed. C is blazing fast. It's close to machine level code and often used in a performance critical areas. Python is slower due to its interrupted nature and simplicity. Java sits somewhere in between. Not as fast as C, but faster than Python in many cases. Syntax. C syntax can be complex and less forgiving. One small mistake, like a missing semicolon, can break your program. Python is known for its super clean and beginner friendly syntax. It reads almost like English. Java, more verbose, meaning you have to write a lot of more code to do simple things, but it's highly structured. Next, memory control is another big difference. In C, you manually manage memory, which teaches you how to computer truly works, but also add more responsibilities. Python and Java handle memory for you through something called garbage collection. So you don't have to worry about it. And what about the real world usage? C is still used in a system programming, embedded systems, and firmware. Python is booming in data science, machine learning, and web development. Java is everywhere. The enterprise application, banking system, and and Android development. But here's a fun fact to wrap up. Okay, so even though Python and Java are more modern, both of them were built using C under the hood. So when you learn C, you are learning the code that powers many other languages. All right, let's wrap up everything we have learned today. Okay, C is not just another programming language, it's a foundation. A must learn for everyone who is serious about mastering programming or understanding how computer works. Even in 2025, C is still very much alive, especially in a fields like embedded system, operating system, and high performance computing. So what C makes it special is that it doesn't just teach you what to do; it teaches you how things work underneath. So when you learn C, you understand memory, storage, and data movement at a much deeper level. And here's the best part: once you master C, you will find it much easier to pick up other languages like Python, Java, or even C++. So your logic and program solving skills become sharper, and that shows in interviews, projects, and real world development. So go ahead, dive into C and lay the strongest possible foundation for your programming journey. Awesome. So you have just completed your first step into the world of C programming. But we are only getting started. In the next model, we will guide you through a setting up a C environment on your computer, whether you are using Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. Then we will dive into writing your very first C program. Yes, the classic hello world. But we will also break down every part of the code so you truly understand what's happening. And after that, it's time for hands-on coding exercise. These will help you build confidence and get used to how C works, like variable functions, input, output, and many more. So get ready to code. Before you go, make sure that I given today's session notes in description. Okay, like this video if you found it useful. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next session. See you in the next model. Let's start coding in C.